Hey guys, and welcome to Red Devils United, and this is Bear and Chats, and we're going to have hopefully some time. Deco is going to be joining us, and we will hopefully have a few people within the chat window who will be able to join us, and we can discuss the match, we can discuss some of the results that have happened, and we can iron out some of the kinks that are taking place. Just currently seeing if Deco will be joining us, so just bear with me now because it might take a moment to get that looking as it should. Just bear with us. If you are joining us live, please just message in the chat, share this page, like it. We have an hour of football, and we are looking forward to the game ahead.
Chevrolet, proud supporter of Manchester United.
Now just bear with me, and I should be able to bring Deco in to our chat, which will just take a moment. Guys, Bear and Chats, it's just an hour of chat and a laugh, where we get to talk about football and have a good time. Deco is joining us there. Just a moment. Deco, bear with me for a second. Okay, so just gonna fix up this window to see if we can get things looking a bit better. Okay, just one moment now. Guys, we have Connor Nolan joining us. Go on, Johnny boy. Connor, great to have you. Just bear with us because I was meant to get this set up beforehand, but didn't really have the time I needed. So bear with me for one moment. Okay, and then we just seen if we have Deco here with us. Okay, now bear with me, Deco. I'm just going to flip you around to the other side. This might help me get you in here. Your volume's a little bit high on your speaker. I'm not sure if it's possible to change that.
That better?
It's still a bit high.
No, but you change it.
Okay, one moment. Okay, well, we have Deco with us now, and that looks like it's looking better, so apologies for the delay in that, guys. We have our chat window open where we have Connor Nolan joining us. Connor, one of the fans who's always in. Great to have you here. Connor, I believe, is a Chelsea fan. Chelsea, I think, won 2-0 today, Deco, was it?
Yeah, I think it was 2-0, yeah.
Okay, hold on. So Deco's volume is quite high. I'm not sure what that is. Bear with me. Alright. Deco, have you got like your speaker on loud or something like that?
Bluetooth headset in now. Is that any better?
That's a lot better. Yeah, that's
Alright, cool.
that's way better. Don't do that again.
Okay.
It was on a massive echo. Good to have you, Deco, joining us. You looking forward to the United match now at 8 o'clock?
Yeah, I should be. I want to keep an eye on it, but I've got lots going on today.
Yeah, Deco currently decorating his house, but you're going to have to watch that now. That's going to be a great game, an important game. I was mentioning earlier on the pre-match video that City or Spurs will drop points. And as you know yourself, or maybe you don't,
Yeah.
City are already losing 1-0.
Yeah.
So that's them dropping points if that continues. Liverpool playing Leicester tomorrow. Somebody's going to drop points there. Again, good chance for us to gain on all those teams.
Yeah. We get a win today, would be really good. Next, because a couple of people have games in hands on them, like 2 games maybe, so 2 wins puts us right near the top again.
Yeah, I think like it's hard to tell. I'm gonna bring up the table again, right? So I know we're probably 9 points off a few teams. But forgetting the top of the league for a second, which I think Chelsea moved top, Connor. Chelsea top of the league for now. Anyway, until Leicester play tomorrow against an injury ravaged Liverpool team. But we look at the table, right? So Chelsea are 8 points ahead of us. Okay? They're 8 points ahead, but we've 2 games in hand. Alright, so we win our 2 games. We're only 2 points off top. I mean, that's how close it is. We win our 2 games in hand, we're 2 points off top. You know, if Leicester beat Liverpool, Liverpool will be 7 points ahead of us, and we will have 2 games in hand.
Yeah.
We win those games, we're only a point behind Liverpool. Okay, and of course you have to go and win them, but
Yeah, we're still to win.
if you win them, then we're what? We're a couple points off second. We're a point off Liverpool, last year's champions. I mean, it is anybody's to grab. Everybody is having kind of an up and down start. No one like more so than United.
Yeah.
A couple of the performances have been up and down, up and down. We've had brilliant games, PSG and Newcastle, RB Leipzig. The game against Everton was well won, and then we've followed most of them up with really piss poor games like Chelsea and then Arsenal and then the Istanbul game.
Yeah, it's
So-
very frustrating to watch some of them. Just like you can watch one game and just watch how well they play, and then you're like, oh great, look forward to the next game. The next game's just terrible.
Yeah,
Really hard.
by comparison, it's just shit. And it's really hard to watch. Connor, what did you make of Chelsea's performance today? If you're still with us live, let us know. Also, Connor, as a fan of football in general, really good guy. Be interesting to know, Connor, what do you think the United lineup should be for the 8 o'clock match? Be really interested to hear. And if anyone else is joining us live, please feel free to chat in the window. Like, share, and subscribe. But the important thing is that you do chat, because this is Beer and Chats, where we all have a bit of a laugh, bit of a chat. Deco, tell me, just shout out there while I'm waiting for a second, just to let me know what you think the lineup should be.
Oh god, I don't think the line's going to be. I haven't seen much of it, but from what your guess was earlier, there's possibly James playing, which I think is going to be a mistake. I don't think he's to play. I'm hoping for Tellez, Maguire, Tuanzebe, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and then like when I need some comment on you. Hang on one second. Okay, one second. So yeah, I got to midfield there before getting still. Yeah, I think so. Defense, I think hopefully Tellez, Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Tuanzebe. Midfield.
Tez Maguire, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Tuanzebe. Right. So I had Lindelof in my team earlier today, but Alex Maguire, a United fan, was on live with us, and he actually wanted Tuanzebe in there as well.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully he does. Midfield, I don't know. Fred, McTominay.
Hold on, give us a second there, right? There's nobody in the live chat. Bear with me a second. I'm gonna just bring up the team that I had picked, okay?
Yeah.
Just gonna bring it up here very, very briefly, just to
Give me
see.
just 1 second.
Yeah. Okay, guys, so as Deco just sorts out something there in his background, we're going to have a quick look at the team itself, right? So this is Bear and Chats, but without too many people in the live chat, without too many people discussing the game at 8 o'clock, tomorrow's games, the results that have taken place earlier today, we may as well just have a look at this team. So Deco's looking at Tellez, Maguire, Tuanzebe, Aaron Wan-Bissaka with the Hay in goal. He's about to start talking about the midfield, and the reason I wanted to bring up this in my window is because the midfield is. Hey Deco, if you turn your phone on YouTube there, onto the channel and just turn the sound off, you'll be able to see the window. And that way you'll be able to see the team.
No, I'm on the call on my phone because everything's been cleared away for the decorating, so laptops, computers are all stored away.
Okay. So I've got it up anyway, right? But the reason I brought this up is because so many options. I'm not sure you'll be able to watch the video earlier on today, right? But I decided to put in all of our forwards.
Yeah.
Right, and all of our midfielders. It was a team of like 17 players, right, all ready to play, and it looked phenomenal. And I'm like, I was looking at it going, who do you take out? Like there was so many good players, and I'm like, who do you take out? And obviously you can take out people. You could take out Greenwood. He's being injured. You could take out Pogba. His form is being iffy. You could take out Van der Beek because really he is struggling to get a start. I know he had a great international kind of 2 weeks. He scored a goal or two. You could take out Cavani because he hasn't started much for United, but he also scored for Uruguay. So I mean, it's hard to tell. Oh Jesus, Deco, your glass is just like our beer and chats icons that I have. Show that off. There it is, Deco's own beer and chats mug. Got to start getting some merch together.
Dude, I'm taking it to a whole new level though because I've got food as well. So
beer, chats, and food. I mean, the combination of our title is going to get too big. It'll be beer, chats, food, holidays, and God knows what else we can fit in. Anybody who does join us live here on Beer and Chat, you should know that as soon as the lockdown here in Ireland ends, we are going to be doing a live Beer and Chats episode from Foxy's Den, which is the United Clubhouse in Newbridge, Ireland. And we're going to do a live episode on one of the match days for United. We're going to do Beer and Chats because he has his own bar in this clubhouse. We're going to be doing our pre-match game, our post-match game, all of it from Foxy's Man United Clubhouse, which is going to be our supporters' den in the future. So if Foxy is watching, we look forward to that day. It's going to be a great time. But Deco, getting back to getting back to the team, right? So what's your midfield look like?
I think probably Fred McTominay.
Right, so I put Matic in, right? Because as Dwayne said, Fred and McTominay aren't good enough to do a holding position on their own, right? So when I put them in for you, it means we lose. Okay, where's McTominay hiding? Here he is. It means we do lose a position in attack, right? So I'll take Pogba out for now, and now you've got Fred and McTominay, and who's joining them? Van der Beek, Pogba, Bruno, or
Bruno.
You're going with Bruno. All right.
Yeah.
So then you've got. Do you want to add another midfielder in there and play a front two of Cavani and Martial, or do you want to play with three forwards?
Oh no.
Because I thought playing with a forward partnership of Cavani and Martial would give you a chance to add another. Because think of it, West Brom are going to play. They're going to play a low block, right? A block of 8 players. So having players out wide, it could be helpful to get in behind and get crosses in. But if they're too static, we're going to need midfielders to do some quick passing and pull players out of position.
Yeah, you could probably maybe, if you had Cavani and Martial, have Van der Beek in then.
You could, right? So you're still leaving Pogba on the bench. He's just not getting a game with you.
No, I am.
Right, so we bring Van der Beek in and we have Bruno. Now, it's hard to kind of imagine how that works, right? Because they're both number 10s. So where are you putting Van der Beek? I mean, Bruno is sitting... You've got your 2 midfielders, right? Over there. And then Bruno is sitting in front of the 2 of them in the number 10. So where will Van der Beek go?
Yeah. I don't know, if you just play over to the right a little bit.
Right, so we bring Van der Beek out to the right a little bit. And bring Bruno out to the left. Positionally, I can't see this working.
No.
Not with Fred and McTominay. If it was just Matic, it would work fine, but it's like you got a midfield block of 4.
Yeah.
Right, let's leave Van der Beek out. Let's put Bruno in. You were going to go with a 3-man forward, yeah?
Yeah, I won't.
So Cavani up front or Martial up front?
Martial probably.
Martial's up front. Cavani's out on the bench. So who is your wide left and wide right? Daniel James?
Huh?
Is Daniel James wide right?
No. I couldn't imagine. I can maybe see Maka going in again. I know he's not like fast and stuff, but he has been put in there a bit and he does play alright, so I can maybe see him in there.
Right.
But I don't know who else to put in there.
Well, we got Rashford. We got Rashford on the bench. Pogba's on the bench. Matt is on the bench. Van der Beek's on the bench. Greenwood's on the bench.
So what we're looking at then, if you did like what you were saying, maybe your Pogba kind of
Pogba high up left,
Rashford up right.
advanced position, Rashford up right. So now we've got great balance, good pace, what looks like a very, very good, very, very good team, good shape. We've got a great bench, right? Our bench has Greenwood, Cavani, Van der Beek, Matic, and Mata. So, yeah, really, really excellent bench and people to come on. Okay, guys, so anybody watching live or anybody that's watching this back, you can see this is the team Deca would play. It's very, very similar to the team I'd play. If I wanted Van der Beek to play, I would bring Mata in instead of Fred and McTominay and play Van der Beek beside Bruno in front of Mata. So it's like a diamond formation midfield, but flipped on its head. Instead of it being, instead of it here being a flat Fred and McTominay with Bruno ahead of them, it would be Bruno and Van der Beek with Matic behind them. So it'd be a triangle like that instead of like that.
Give me a sec.
But yeah, that's a good team. That's a very good team. So we just check now to see if anybody here has joined in live to have a discussion. And yes, Conor Nolan is still with us. Chelsea to win the league, John. I'll tell you what, the top of the league, so it's hard to deny that they have a chance to win it. A 2-0 win is always good. It's a good performance. It's a good result. They've got the manpower, the squad. They've had, like United, an up and down season. I know they're on top of the league, Connor, and United are 14th, so it's very hard to compare the two. But you've got to think about it logically. If we win our 2 games in hand, West Brom and Burnley, we're only 2 points away from Chelsea, and that's how close it is. First and 14th, if we win our game in hand, it's 2 points. So yeah, I mean, definitely up with a chance to win the league. With Liverpool's injuries to Gomez and Van Dijk, that does put a dent in what they're going to try and achieve defending the title. Salah could miss 1, maybe 2 games. I mean, we had Tellez missed 5 games from coronavirus, so Salah could miss a good few, or maybe not. Trent's injury, it's hamstring. He should be back soon. So, really the only injury problems that will last for Liverpool is their centre halves, which are huge. So that said, they're going to struggle. City are 2-0 down, Connor says. So that's also putting a dent in City's aspirations of trying to wrestle the title back from Liverpool. So with City 2-0 down, they're going to drop 3 points. So that's not going to be great for them. Okay. Conor Nolan didn't get to see much of it, John. It was working. It's unfortunate, Conor. I actually haven't worked weekends in about 16 years, so I can't say I relate, thank God. But hopefully you get to watch them soon. Dego, just your thoughts. Conor thinks Chelsea have a chance of winning the league. I was just talking about Liverpool's injuries, which are going to dent their aspirations. City dropping points today. They're currently 2-0 down. That could dent their aspirations. And with everything so close, Man United win their 2 games in hand. We're only 2 points off first place Chelsea. City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs, all Leicester, all sniffing around. It's going to be a title race of maybe 4 or 5 teams.
Yeah, I think there's no reason to say they don't have a chance, because
you discuss that. I'm going to grab a beer, okay?
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely think there's a chance. All right, if enough teams start dropping points and things as close as they are, and there's like teams that shouldn't be up top of the table that are at the moment, then there's definitely no reason why Chelsea don't have a chance to win the league this year. I can see it happening, Connor. Go on. But yeah, we need to win 2 games and get back up there, but we're hoping as well that some teams lose at the same time, which might not happen. So even with Liverpool's injuries, they're still winning games. So if anybody's at the moment, we just see what happens.
Well, I'm back with me beer for my beer and chats. Today's episode, again, sponsored by Carlsberg.
Massive bottle of Stella.
That's good. Doesn't look like we have too many joining us in today's live chat, which is unfortunate because when you do have more people in it, it does make for a better video, but more importantly, makes for better banter.
Yeah.
So it may just be the two of us, which is fine by me.
Still beers and chats.
Yeah, beers, chats, and you get a break from your painting.
Yeah, I thought.
Now I'm just going to send a quick link to a few of the mates to see if they can join in. They're not Man United fans, so they may get a bit of a laugh and a bit of banter out of it. And we'll see if they can.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, it could be, like, Chelsea could have a chance. It all depends on how many teams drop points and what happens, doesn't it? Like, because I know we're saying, like, 2 wins gets us up top, but it also, it's if other teams lose as well, so we'll just see what happens with it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, 2 wins gets us 2 points off Chelsea, but if we lose the 2 games, that's why today's game, I don't care, like, today's game could be against Real Madrid, Barcelona. I don't care if it's West Brom. It's probably one of the most important games we've had because it gives us a chance to win 2 league games back to back. It gives us a chance to win our first home league game of the season, which is just lunacy when you think about it.
That's insane.
So it's insane. Like, you know, played at home I think 3 or 4 times. We haven't won a single match. So that said, if we lost these 2 games, then you know that 8-point gap is solidified. You know, if we win them, it's only 2. But if we lose them, it solidifies the 8 points. It knocks us out of any real title challenge. We'll be struggling for 4th because the title challenge will be between, I think, 4 or 5 teams. It means if we don't stay among those 4 or 5, we're not going to get top 4. Because I think the gap between 4th and 1st will be as little as 3 points this season.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So we have to win today. Today is a huge, huge day for us here.
Be a good one to watch it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. 8 o'clock, we have 50 minutes. When 8 o'clock hits, or before 8 o'clock, we'll be turning off beer and chats. We'll be going to watch the match. And 10, if Deco can join me, we can have a post-match discussion at 10 past 10. If you're available, we can have a post-match discussion at 10 past 10.
I'll let you know.
And then I can tell you about the match and how it went.
Yeah.
What did you think of the new graphics on Red Devils United with regards to the team?
Oh yeah, it's really good. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I was playing with them.
Pulling it out.
Yeah, but no, but I was playing with them today. I took away the green, I put in red, made the outline kind of a neon-y kind of glow colour.
Yeah.
It took a while because when I did it originally, all the names of the players, they were all kind of different fonts because I was adding them in different times and then I forgot what font I used. Some were capital, some were, so I basically had to rewrite them all again, which actually takes longer than you would think, because then I have to merge them with the actual Devils and have to line them up properly. So, yeah, no, I really like it. So I was very happy with that.
Nice.
Yeah, no, happy days. What do you reckon, or what do you make of the Liverpool injuries, man?
Say again?
What do you think of the Liverpool injuries? What do you make of what's going on with Liverpool?
Sorry, what? I can't. I'm just what going on?
The Liverpool injuries that have happened. What do you think?
Yeah, I know it's a lot, but they're still winning games, aren't they? Like I know Van Dijk's a big part of the team, and that's a definite hit to have him like be injured now. But I still think they'll do okay. I think they'll still do all right. Like I can't see them losing loads. Like against some big teams maybe, but they seem to be winning games still. They seem to be playing okay. They don't seem to be too fucking hurt by it. So I think they'll be all right.
Right, so they're not getting relegated, is what you're saying.
Well, that would be amazing.
that would be like, oh, my dreams come true.
Could you imagine the one season winning it and the next season getting relegated? That would be fucking insane.
Oh my god, right? Speaking of things that would be insane and amazing, right? I had a dream literally the night before last and it was just before I woke up, so I remembered it really vividly. And I was looking at my phone, right? I was having drinks with a mate, and I was looking at my phone, and I had a Paddy Powers app, and I had 2 cent. And I was like, oh, 2 cent. That's funny. I wonder what I could do with 2 cent. And then I went 6 cent. And then I went €6. And then I went €60. And then I went €700. And then I went... And then I looked at it, and then I went €3,000. And I was like, I won €3,000. And it was like as if I put a lottery bet on. And when 2 balls came up, I won something small. But then when the 3rd ball came up, I won more. And then when I went, look, I won €3,000. And I showed my phone to the friend. And when I looked at it, it was like €742 million. And I was like, I'm a millionaire. I won the Euro Millions. I won the Euro Millions. And I was like, and then Sinead goes, John, it's 8:30. Will you get up to the dog? And I went from winning hundreds and hundreds of millions to like, it's 8:30 in the morning, I have to get up, and I'm not well.
Yeah, reality go crashing back down to you.
Yeah, now Liverpool getting relegated would be a very close second to winning 700 million quid, I swear to God.
No, I don't think I'll be okay. But
yeah, and the thing is, when you look at it, Van Dijk is injured, right? Probably, if not the whole season, at least till April, right? Maybe February, April, right? Unless a miracle happens. And if they bring him back too early, they're risking him all over again. So I only think he comes back early if they're really in a title race with 1 or 2 teams and they need him, alright? But he's out. Gomez now is out for what will apparently be an extremely lengthy time. That's your 2 centre-halves, right? But they are still winning games. And they're doing that without their new signing, okay? But now Salah's got coronavirus. Now, we lost Telles for 3 league games or something. 2 Champions League games. You know, he's been out since the PSG match. He's missed 5 matches due to coronavirus. So, with that said, Salah could... Like, if he missed the Leicester game only, that'd be great for Liverpool. But he could miss 2 weeks of football. And that's if he has no symptoms. You know, Pogba got it, and when he came back, you could see... Obviously, no pre-season, he was sluggish, but it had an effect on him. And it could have an effect on Salah. I mean, sportsmen are not machines. If he does have symptoms, and it has a medical effect on him, whether it's his chest, his breathing, or anything else, it could hinder him. And that's only from when he comes back, you know?
Yeah.
And then with that, then Trent is injured, right? A lot of I've constantly said this, right? Before they brought in the new signing, what's his name? From Bayern Munich. If anybody's watching live in the chat, just remind me of Liverpool's signing. Oh
no, I forgot.
It doesn't matter. But he's a good midfielder, all right? But he doesn't have many assists in him. The entire midfield completely lacks of creative players and assists. All of their assists are generally coming from either Salah and Mane assisting each other, or Firmino, or it comes from their fullbacks, right? Constantly getting good balls in. Very few, if not nobody, is better than Alexander Trent at whipping a ball in, especially from a fullback position. He's also injured for tomorrow's game. So with him injured, Gomez injured, Van Dijk injured, Salah out with coronavirus, a couple of midfielders probably still injured. It bodes well for now. Leicester have their own injuries. They've got about 4 or 5 players that have been injured quite a bit. So it'll be an interesting match. But if Liverpool lose that, that's all it takes. Because like you said, they've been winning. You know, they've had a few, like they drew with Everton when the injury happened. But since then, they've still managed to get the points on the board, and that's a big deal. Because if they can get the points on the board and then they start getting players back, all of a sudden, they'll have way more confidence than they ever had. But if they lose tomorrow to Leicester, then it could start to niggle at their mind. We don't have Trent back. We don't have Van Dijk. We don't have Gomez. Salah's still out. We just lost a game. Now we've got another game coming up. You know, it could be detrimental to them.
That's quite a few players out. I didn't know it was that many out. So that's quite a few out for
Henderson also pulled out of England with an injury. And there was rumours or talk of Robertson was injured during Scotland's match, but I think he is available. But they've got an awful lot of injuries.
Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow in the game.
No, absolutely. Now I just want to say as well, we have Jamie O'Connor. Jamie O'Connor joining us in the live chat. Jamie O'Connor, coach of Newbridge FC. He was over in England doing some coaching with one of the League One sides. Great guy, and he's back because of the coronavirus travel restrictions and lockdowns that have happened. So Newbridge FC lucky to be having him. Jamie says, do United need two defensive midfielders against a team like West Brom? Too much thought into the opposition. I agree 100%, Jamie. And that's why that's Deco's team we see here, which is fine. But my team is you take these two out because, as I've said before, these two are not good enough on their own to play centre, to play a holding midfielder. But this guy is. And that gives us the opportunity to bring in Bruno, Van der Beek and Pogba. Now, if there's not enough balance in that, it's okay. You can bring Fred in. Okay, switch Fred and Bruno. And you can play your team like this. Matic, Bruno, Fred. You've got your triangle now. It's upside down. We got Pogba on the advanced left position, which will enable him to utilise his skills at beating players and passing. Maybe get a couple of shots off because, people don't realise this. The season before he was injured, the season before last, Pogba scored 16 goals from midfield. 11 of them were from normal play, while a few were from penalties. But 11 goals from normal play is still better than nearly every single midfielder in the league. So he needs to start having more shots on goal, and he can do that from an advanced position. With this then as well, we could take Martial out, we could put in Cavani in, and there's so many options there. But that is actually the team I would play, Jamie. I would not have two holding midfielders simply because, as you said, it's West Brom. They're going to play a back eight against us. We don't need two holding midfielders. So there's the new lineup, Jamie. Take a look. What do you think? And what would you do as the coach and an aspirational coach of hopefully one day Premier League football? What would you do? Love to know your thoughts. So thanks for joining us on Beer and Chats. I do hope you have a beer, because if you don't, that is sacrilegious.
I still think that lineup you had earlier with James in it. Where did that come from? I went usually Foxy, Rob Fox, who we're doing Beer and Chats and we're doing all the episodes live from the United Clubhouse. He will normally send me a few graphics that I would use in the morning, but the show was a bit early this morning, and he'd normally send me something from a United Twitter page or a United kind of an official club where it's like there's a predicted 11 on it. But I hadn't got one, so I went online and I just said Man United's predicted 11 v West Brom, and this one came from, I think it was Sky Sports. Put in the predicted 11, and they base it on a number of things. They base it on the idea, the misconception that United's midfield have been awful, which they haven't. Pogba's being benched, but when he's come on, he changed a 1-1 result with Newcastle to 4-1. When he came on against PSG at 1-1, he set up the goal to win 2-1. Obviously, he was there against RB Leipzig. So, Van der Beek, brilliant midweek with Holland. I think he scored a couple of goals. The reason they put that in, I think, was because with Daniel James, and for anybody who doesn't know what Deco's talking about, earlier on today, we put in a predicted 11, and I'm going to bring it up here. And it was really a strange 11 that if it comes to fruition, I may kill somebody. But this is the predicted 11. Okay? Let us know what you see in the chat. No one wants to see this happen. No one wants to see this happen. We're talking about Mata on the left, Daniel James on the far right. Now, Daniel James had a good game with Wales, right? But international football playing with Wales, it's not the same as playing with United when you have 60-70% possession and playing against West Brom with a deep-lying defensive 8 players. You'll have no space to run into. He has no skills like Ryan Giggs. He can run fast with the ball in straight lines, but he can't go in and out of players like Giggs.
He can't pass like Beckham, and he doesn't have a brain like Scholes. For an advanced player like that, he's not. He's fast. He's threatening. Like Dwayne Morgan said it, Deco. He said it great when he said Daniel James would be brilliant at Crystal Palace. Right?
Yeah.
When we were playing Crystal Palace and they beat us 3-0. He's like, because they're a team that will counter you. They sit back, they defend, and then they counter. And Daniel James can exploit that. For Leeds United, he'd be great because he could exploit not having the ball and then countering. For us, he's not good enough to beat players. He's not smart enough to pass the ball around players. And he's not technically good enough to stop giving the fucking ball away. Which is all he does. I don't know why they had Mata on the far left. Other than the fact he hasn't played much. And he had got a good game against RB Leipzig. It's hard to say why they put him out far left. I mean, this is a lineup that ignores Martial, Rashford and Greenwood. And while some injury focus may be on Greenwood and Rashford did travel with the squad, so he is fit as far as I can tell. So I don't understand how you bench Pogba when Pogba could play far left instead of Mata. How you could bench Rashford when Rashford could play far left instead of Mata. How you could bench Greenwood instead of James, and how you could bench... And again, it's for an unbelievably important game. I don't care if it's West Brom. We have to win this match.
When is the last time James even played?
Oh, he played in the last fucking game against Arsenal, and he gave the ball away about 12 times in the opening 10 minutes. Every time he touched the ball, he just ran into somebody and gave it away. I was really impressed with him when he actually didn't give it away. Which really shouldn't be your expectation in football. It shouldn't be like, oh look, he got the ball and he passed the 4 yards and didn't give it away. That's not.
It's like the conversation I was having with you about Fred. Is like, I shouldn't have to be happy he makes a forward pass and actually gives it to the player and doesn't play behind him or just give it away for no reason. You shouldn't be happy about those things.
Yeah,
that should be the.
That's the bare minimum expectation. If Fred, in fairness to Fred, I think he gets a bad rap. I think a lot of people think of Fred because of not last season but the year before, and the year before he didn't start well. He's actually played, in my opinion, really well this year. His passing is probably the most forward passing from that position between him and McTominay. He's actually the one getting moves on. There was a great pass in, what game was it? He set up a goal for Rashford. He got the ball, played it through, I think, to... It might have been Bruno, or he gave it to Rashford. Yes, he gave it to Rashford, who then basically found himself in loads of space. He turned, ran at the player. I think he did a 1-2 with Martial.
Took the ball away,
I think but it was a great forward pass from Fred. And he's actually been doing really, really well. So I'm just hoping that he keeps up the form.
Yeah, he needs to, because there is the odd time, like I say, where you see him play and he'll have so many options, and then he'll just like be a player making a run, and instead of passing it forward into the run, he just plays it behind him, or just makes a weird choice in his passing, which is very frustrating. So yeah, just like I just take a dig at him every now and then, just because he just pisses me off sometimes.
Stephen Norman, Liverpool fan, he's just putting his kids to bed. He will be joining us, and he may if he can, but he just said, stick down a 2-2 for me.
Fuck off.
Stephen Norman, you've lost the plot. Man United will win this by 2 goals or more. I'm thinking 3-0. Deco, give me a prediction.
I'm going to go 3-1. I think that just as the odd time where the kind of midfield defense is a bit shaky sometimes, and I can see it happening. So I'm going to just go with a 3-1 just because I just can't see us maybe conceding a goal early on or something, and it'll just drive us to push and win the game. So we're going to go 1-0 down, we're going to win 3-1.
Why don't you give us a minute by minute recount of the game? I'm gonna go 1-0 down and then we win 3-1.
I will. I'll tell you everything will go from minute 1 to minute 90.
Dego, the time travelling football supporter who's actually watched this match already.
If this happens, right? Let's say, right. This is what I think there'll be a bit of a mistake in the pass between midfield to defence, whatever, and someone's going to take advantage of it, and then West Brom will get a quick, easy goal. And then we'll come back with a goal before half time, and in the second half we'll score 2 more and we'll win 3-1.
You know what's really, really annoying is that is unbelievably plausible. That's exactly what could happen with this United team. And they normally start slow and they don't kick off until like the other team hits the crossbar or some shit like, and then they're like, oh, we better start playing. Jamie O'Connor is back with us live. Thanks again, Jamie, for joining live. Jamie says, would have McTominay holding and then a front five. You had John. If Bruno and Donny play together and it works, it now looks like a bad mistake, and it works. And now looks like a bad mistake on Ole and the staff's part. I think he means, and it doesn't work, it would look like a bad mistake. So if he plays Van Dijk and Pogba and Bruno, not Van Dijk, Van de Beek and Pogba and Bruno, and it doesn't work, then it would look really like a really bad mistake on Ole and the staff's part. But if it works, it would look fantastic. Now, to Jamie's point, he would have this is the team here that Jamie is saying. Basically what he would do is he would take Matic out of the holding position and put McTominay in there. Now, I like McTominay. He has some great games sometimes, but sometimes he has some poor games, and it's hard to tell which McTominay is going to show up. Now, that to me looks fine. I would go with that. Jamie, I think you're right. I think Matic may do a better job than McTominay. I think Matic's reading of the game is better than McTominay's. Obviously, ignoring the most ridiculous goal from a corner kick an individual will ever see at any level of football, when Matic just decided to stop marking the striker, and we conceded straight from a corner kick on up the other end. Which was Matic's fault. I don't care what anybody says about what any player. Yes, they should have got the ball in quicker. Yes, they should have stopped dilly-dallying on it. Yes, they maybe should have hit it in first time. When you're the last man back, which generally I am, as a right full and a guy who's 5'5", I am not in the box or around the box for a corner. I'm the last man marking the only striker. As the last man, if I ever left him and just wandered 20 yards to my right, and then they scored from that, I don't think I could ever play football again. I don't think I could. Well, one reason I might not be able to play football again is because the players would have broke my leg in the dressing room for such a mistake. It was ridiculous. It was so bad. But that aside, I think Matic is better than McTominay, but McTominay's there, so Dego's going to get a beer, and as he does, we will check the chat and see if anyone else has joined us. But Jamie, thanks very much for your comment. Yes, I would deal with. I think that front five could be brilliant. I think there could be intricate passing, crosses, shots from long range, good run from Cavani, could drag the defence around. I think it could really lead to a great win. But we have to see if that's the team Ole picks. Ian Craig's joining us, an Arsenal fan. Arsenal having put together a good few wins before they got beaten by Aston Villa. One of those wins being against United, which was hard to take. But they are up there around the top 4 mark. Again, when I look at the league table, we see Arsenal, they're down in 11th. But with a game in hand, they could find themselves only 5 points. Only 5 points off Tottenham, who are now top of the table. Deco, good point to note. I was saying if we win our 2 games in hand, we'd be 2 points off top of the table. Well, with Tottenham winning their match, we'd actually be 4 points off top of the table.
Oh, right.
If we win our 2 games in hand. Now that means we have to win our 2 games in hand, because if we don't beat West Brom today, we don't beat Burnley in our other game in hand, we're going to be 10 points off Tottenham. And we can't afford that. Arsenal, if they win their 1 game in hand tomorrow, then, and that's against Leeds, and it's away, it's not going to be easy, they'll still be 5 points off Spurs, which is a lot to catch up on. We'll be 4 points off them, which is still a lot to catch up on. And Spurs are obviously in good form, beating Man City by at least 2-0. Now, Deco, I'm just going to read out Ian's comment, who has joined us. Ian says, hard to tell which United team will turn up game to game, same as us. Ian, I talked earlier today in the pre-match video, it's like a Jekyll and Hyde nonsense, right? We smashed Newcastle 4-1. Then we play PSG and it's like amazing. Then we go to Newcastle, we go to Chelsea
and it's bland. It's a draw, it's a point, but it's a game we should have won. And we were a better team in it, but it's like we're trying not to lose. Right? So then we take that, we go to RB Leipzig, smash them 5-0. Unbelievable performance against an undefeated Bundesliga team. Then we go to Arsenal, and it's probably the worst performance, Deco, I think I've seen us play.
Yeah, it was awful. It was hard to watch. So hard to watch.
Which United team? And then the Istanbul game was fucking awful. So which United team shows up? The PSG, RB Leipzig, Everton United team, or the Istanbul, Spurs, Crystal Palace, and Arsenal United team?
If that second team shows up, that we're just fucking done. We know it. So we need the first one to show up.
Sorry, I'm after hiding Dwayne Morgan's message who joins us. I was meant to click show. Dwayne might have had profanity. I don't know why it hides it, but it can still be seen in our chat. It's just greyed out. Dwayne Morgan, also an Arsenal fan, and excellent when he can join us because he does provide an excellent contribution. He was the one who originally said to me that McTominay and Fred are great in midfield together, and as an Arsenal fan, that's admitting something because they don't like to he's an Arsenal fan, he doesn't want to talk good about United, but he said they are great together, but they're just not good enough to do that position on their own, and I thought you're 100% right. He says yes, but Arsenal and United are shite. Mid-table at best for these. That's 6th place to 10th. Dwayne, you may be right, okay? Now, and on the current table, you are right. In fact, you're probably being optimistic because we're sitting 14th and you're sitting 11th, right? So we're not even 6th to 10th. But as I was saying previously, if we win our 2 games in hand, which is an if, of course, but if we win our 2 games in hand against West Brom and Burnley, we're only 4 points off top. We're only 2 points off Chelsea, and we're only 1 point off Liverpool. You know, if we win our 2 games in hand, we'll be in that whole top 4 area, and we'll be in competition for the league. You know, we will be title contenders if we get some consistency together. But it's a massive if, Deco. Consistency is killing us.
It just all depends on what team plays, isn't it? It just depends on who shows up on the day.
No, what they need to do is they need to take the fucking second team that lost to Arsenal, that lost to team, take them out back and shoot them.
Yeah.
Right, and that way we've only got the good team left, and only the good team can show up.
Half that team is the good team.
It's
the ones who are the problem.
No, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But they're all the problem. I mean, that game against Arsenal, we had and even Chelsea. Pogba was playing, Van der Beek was playing, Bruno was playing. They were all shy. Every one of them was shy. Ian Cray, as bad as we are, I think we will finish above United. Possibly, but you are bad. And Ian said, and we're bad. Yes, and United are bad. But the thing is, Ian, no one's being great. Okay? I mean, it says a lot. If Liverpool are the champions, right? And Man City are one of the best teams of the last decade. Spurs, currently top of the table. Chelsea, we're top of the table. Leicester, we're top of the table. They're all up there, right? If that's the measurement of the best teams in the league right now, then United will only be 2 points off them. 1 point off them if we win our games in hand. So we're, in your eyes, yes, you're shite and Arsenal might finish above us. But we're right up there with all those other teams because nobody's being good. Nobody's being consistent. City just dropped another 3 points today. Liverpool, I think, will likely drop 3 points tomorrow. And if they don't, Leicester will drop 3 points tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, it's very easy to say, we're really bad and yous are really bad, but maybe slightly better than us. But honestly, I think it's far too early to tell. If Arsenal put a run together, win 2-3 games on the bounce, they could find themselves in 4th place very quickly. If United put a little run together, like last season when they went 20 games unbeaten, that would put us up into 3rd, 2nd or 1st. With how many points the other teams are dropping on a consistent basis, Deco.
Yeah, well, like you said, because of how close it all is, because how tight everything is, we just get a good run and hope for a few teams to drop points here and there, then yeah, we'll pull ahead. But that's just, it's hoping for us to do great and everyone else to just start doing shit.
Yeah. Why can't we do great and everyone do shit? Why can't that just happen?
Yeah. It's obviously what you want, but it's just what
No, it's what I need. Dwayne says, you've been on about a game in hand since PSG. Dwayne, we've had a game in hand since the first game of the season. We didn't get to play it, which slowed us down. I don't even know when that game in hand is going to be played. Now the first game in hand is played now in 20 minutes. We're playing against West Brom. Let's start there and hope we get a win. But we've still got a game in hand against Burnley, on Chelsea and Spurs and Arsenal and Liverpool. So we need that game in hand. It's there. It's been there all season. And until we play Burnley, it will still be there. And then we have to go and win it. If we lose it, then no, we've lost it. But we have potential 3 points from that game that all the other teams have already played. He also says good teams are consistent, inconsistent teams are average at best. I don't disagree. And Man United being inconsistent as Man United probably being one of the most inconsistent teams. The other teams that are above United, and they're only slightly above United regarding points from the games they've played, but they're above them because they've only been slightly more consistent. Nearly everybody, and I mean nearly everybody, has been inconsistent. Liverpool got smashed 7-1 by Aston Villa with a full 11 players and Van Dijk in the team. I mean, who saw that happening? Then they drew at Everton. Then they got another draw, or they got lucky in a game. Arsenal beat United, but then they get beaten by Villa. Villa beat Arsenal. No, Villa beat United. Villa beat Arsenal, but then they lose to Brighton today. Spurs beat Man City. They beat United, but they've also had their games where they've lost. I mean, nobody's been consistent. So the thing is, at the moment, either all the teams are average, which they're not. Obviously, some of the teams have to be great. I mean, you can't have a league of all average teams. Some of them are great, and they will start to pull away. And that's basically going to be which 2 or 3 teams can find consistency first. And I really hope Deco United are one of those teams. Dwayne Morgan loves to say I talk pony, right? He's like, Ian Craig says, do you think Ole will be there come January? Ole will definitely be there come January. At the moment, there's nothing to say he won't be. Like I said, we're only 2 points off Chelsea and 1 point off Liverpool if we win the games in hand. Big if. But we've also done really well in the Champions League. We're still in all the cups. There's absolutely no reason to even think he would not be there. We'll actually be ahead of Arsenal if we win our games in hand. So the question is, do you expect Arteta to be there in January? It's a legitimate question. Dwayne Morgan, talking pony as usual, right? Take off the blinkers. If Arsenal win their next 20 games in hand, they'll have an alright season. Okay, so first of all, Arsenal don't have 20 games in hand on anyone. Okay, they just have 20 games to play. The thing is, everyone else has 20 games to play, or 19 games to play. Okay, so they don't have 20 games in hand. They have the same amount of games, or near the same amount of games as everyone else. And yes, if they win them all, they will be in an alright position. United got from, I think it was 11th last season, Deco, to 3rd by winning, or not winning all 20 games, but by being undefeated in 20 games.
Yeah.
So it can happen, Dwayne. If Arsenal are as good as United, then they could put a 20-game run together like we did last season. But it's going to take a team like Arsenal and United doing that. They're going to need to put 15, 20-game unbeaten run together to have any chance of competing for that top 4. Because as I said before you probably joined, if Arsenal United want top 4, they're going to have to compete for the league. Because I think the difference between 4th and 1st is going to be about 6 to 3 points. So if United aren't 6 to 3 points away from 1st, they're probably not going to make top 4.
Yeah, so it's only going to be about the next couple of games, isn't it? It's going to be about what we do in the next 2-3 games.
Yeah, and they're huge. And the thing is, United's next few games, I think minus... I know we've got Liverpool in December, but other than Liverpool, I think of the next kind of 5 to 6 games, Like, they're not easy. No game is easy, but they're games I would hope we would win. Like today. Now, chances are I'm going to have a conversation, hopefully with you at 10:10 in the post-match show. And I could be sitting here going, how the fuck did we lose? We lost again. We lost again. And I'll be devastated. And that's the kind of shit we have to deal with. But the next 6 games, other than Liverpool, and I'll throw Liverpool in with this other lot. The next 6 games, including Liverpool, are games I would expect to win, considering their injury crisis.
Yeah, but you say like you expect to win 7 games, but like you said already, you wouldn't have expected Villa to hammer Liverpool.
No, wouldn't even expect Villa to squeeze a 1-0, let alone 7-1. I still to this day don't know what happened in that game. Because in that game, I watched United got beaten 6-0 because we got down to 10 men. 6-1. Because we went down to 10 men. And after that match ended, I was so devastated and I was hammered because I was in Costa de Keys. Then the Liverpool match came on. I was looking at my phone. I was dealing with a lot of Liverpool hate because of the shocking result. And then all of a sudden it went quiet as Liverpool went down 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1. It was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen, and I still to this day don't know how it happened.
No, crazy. That's the thing. You can expect to win games, alright, but it just all depends on what happens in the day.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I would have expected to beat Crystal Palace, but...
So again?
It's just Spencer trying to join us. Even at Crystal Palace, I would expect to beat Crystal Palace. But it was the first game of the season, and because United and City had to delay their season by a week, our pre-season was a week. So basically, we only had a week of pre-season. But so did other teams. The thing is, their week started 1 week before us. So by the time we played Crystal Palace, they already had a 90-minute competitive game under their belt. And we looked so sluggish in that game. So there's always context. There's always context. Like, you would expect Liverpool to beat Leicester. But they're missing Van Dijk, they're missing Gomez, they're missing probably Henderson, they're missing Trent, they're missing Salah. Honestly, you would expect Leicester to win now because of context. So when I talk about football, I always try to introduce context. And whenever I say something, people generally bite back with this random line. And I'm like, context. It does mean something. It does mean something. You know? If we lost to West Brom, in context of what I've seen, it would be devastating, but it would nearly be expected. Now, if we had a 10-game unbeaten run going into this West Brom match, and then we lost, I'd be way more devastated and way more shocked because of the context in that scenario. But our problem is we've nearly in every single game we've played brilliant. We've followed it up playing shite. And the last game...
We've got an equal number of great games and shit games. So you just can't tell what's going to next. And
they generally follow each other. You know, we play shit against Arsenal, spectacular against... poor against Chelsea, spectacular against RB Leipzig. You know, devastatingly bad against Spurs, fantastic against Newcastle. Unbelievably shit against the Istanbul team, really good against Everton, winning 3-1. I mean, you don't know which one's going to show up, and the only thing I'm hoping is that between Everton, when we played well, we have an international break, which means hopefully the guys will just come back and play well.
Yeah, I was going to say, hopefully we're not due at shit games, because that would be terrible.
But if it was a mathematical equation, you know, just going on a pattern, we are due to get beaten 2 or 3-0. You know, you follow up a good game with a shit game. And that's the pattern we've had. And I say all season. The season's only 7 games old for us. Actually, is it 7? Yeah, 6, 7 games old. The season's only 7 games old for us. So it's we're not even a quarter way into it. There's still 32, 33 matches to play. So I'm not worried. We just need to start to find that consistency.
I'm going to stand by my earlier prediction of going down 1-0 and win 3-1.
1-0, 3-1. I think we'll win 3-0. I want you to just talk to Dwayne about that consistency. As Dwayne said, good teams are consistent. Inconsistent teams are average at best. Keep in mind, United put together a 19-game winning run, or undefeated run, in Ole's first 6 months as interim manager, until he was given the job permanently, and then they lost something like 6 games in a row. Last season, they were very inconsistent until January, okay? And then from when Bruno was signed until the end of the season, they didn't lose a single game. Right? So on Dwayne's analysis of average teams are inconsistent and good teams are consistent, Man United have been both.
What does that mean for us? What does it even mean? That doesn't mean anything. It's all about the season you're in at the moment, then, isn't it? Like, if you're consistent in this season, then you're good. If you're not consistent, then you're not good. And you can't look back on last season and say, well, we were consistent then. That was great back then. But for now, doesn't mean shit. I agree with Dwayne.
Why is the chair out here?
Quick, while John's gone, just throw out the comments in. Crazy amount of comments. Just throw them all in while he's not here. He won't know.
Oh, that's a good idea. He can have them so soon. Thanks for holding the fort, Deco.
No, I didn't say anything bad about you.
But you did talk.
Yeah, but just nothing bad about you.
Good, because anybody watching this video is just Deco sitting there in silence.
No, but listen, I want to just hammer home it wasn't anything bad about you, okay?
What do you think of the flag? The new Red Devils decoration.
Yeah, it's definitely better for the video, isn't it?
Oh, it's fantastic. My sister got me that for my birthday. Which I love. And I showed you this already.
Yeah, you did.
But
nobody else will know, man. No one else will know.
I don't care if anyone else knows what that is. I know what that is. And it's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. Right, so Dwayne Morgan comes in and says, if you're boat, it means you're inconsistent. That's a good point, Dwayne. But inconsistent on a very large scale. You're inconsistent for a 6-month period, then showing massive consistency for 6 months going undefeated for 20 games. I mean, nobody is consistent for like an entire season, or very rarely. Even Liverpool, since they won the league, which was really consistent, they won the league and they won it by a massive margin. They've since become so inconsistent that they've actually conceded more goals than every single team in the league between that date and right now. Which shows...
That's what I was saying, John, when you left, was it all depends on like the season you're in. It's great we were consistent at the back end of last season to kind of pull us back up into the top of the table, but if we're not consistent this season, it doesn't bode well for us.
Oh, it doesn't bode well at all. And that's the thing. The thing is, you can be inconsistent for 4 games, 5 games, 6 games, 7 games. You know, you win a few, you draw a few, maybe lose one. But the potential to find that consistency is still there. And that's what United need to do. They need to find that consistency that they had. And they have the potential to do that. And they're not too far behind. So if they do find that consistency, or for Dwayne, if Arsenal find some consistency, they will find themselves move up the table extremely fast, because between 14th and 4th is actually very little. Dwayne goes on to say, or Incray says in a message that's hidden, I'm going to show it. I'm not sure what it says. Arsenal went 19 games unbeaten also last year, like United, 19 games, both shit. Well, Arsenal's 19 games didn't manage to get them into top 4. I think they just missed out. Man United, actually, they may have not even gotten I think they got 6th, because I think Leicester came 5th. But yeah, 19 games unbeaten, and it is extremely good. And maybe they had too many draws. I know United won most of the 20 games I'm referring to. But 19 games unbeaten is still great. They may have just went on that run a little bit too late. United, luckily, they went on it in January, and it was enough to get us Champions League football this season. But both teams need a run like that, but they need it right now. Like, literally within the next couple of games, they need to go on this run of 19 or 20. It's the only way they will stay within the top 4 come the turn of the year. And when it comes 2021, you know, when it's towards the back end of January, I would just love United to be within that 4th, 3rd position. You know, that's all I want.
Yeah.
Dwayne Morgan says, thank God he's gone.
What?
He's obviously referring to me having leaving the room. And now he's like, oh, he's back.
I like Ian's brutal honesty.
No, Ian's quite honest. Ian, yeah, as an Arsenal fan, he knows that they haven't been good. But, like, I mean, they got a good win against us. But, like us, they then followed it up with losing to Aston Villa. We did the opposite. We followed up our loss with Arsenal with a good win against Everton. You know, so when you look at it, both teams played 2 matches, but they both only took away 3 points. It just shows what Dwayne was talking about. Just that inconsistency. Dwayne's asking, is the game on TV? Dwayne, the game's on 8 o'clock. It should be on TV. I imagine it's probably on BT Sport if it's not on Sky. But I will check for you right now, buddy. We look at the TV guide and we will check out the sports. And when we do, game is kicking off in about 7 minutes. Man United v West Brom is live on BT Sport HD, Dwayne. BT Sport HD if you have it. Luckily I do. It is on the Sky Go app as well, so Deco, you can just watch it on that.
Sweet.
But yes, BT Sport HD, thank God. We're in the last 5 minutes, and I really want to thank Connor, an avid fan who always joins in every single live show. Ian, well, first of all, then Jamie for joining us as well live. I think for the first time, or one of the first times, I really appreciated. And as well, then Ian and Dwayne, really want to thank you for joining in. Just playing your part, throwing it at banter, throwing a bit of shade, brutal honesty from Ian, brutal from Dwayne, brutal banter from Dwayne. But just thanks for joining, because with Beer and Chats, it's all about just having a drink, talking about today's game, which is United v West Brom, but also maybe dipping into the fact that Man City just dropped 3 points, the fact that Spurs just won 3 points, and Jose is on a good run. Liverpool have massive injuries. Leicester are fighting for a title. Arsenal are playing tomorrow. I mean, we can talk about anything, but thanks for joining us, because it makes Beer and Chats just that little bit better. So really appreciate it. If you can, please like the video. Please share it, you know, on your social media to anybody who does like football. Dwayne then mentions and says, I'll avoid BT, so no one wants to watch. No one wants to see West Brom win. I would imagine as an Arsenal fan, you would want to see West Brom win. No Man United fan wants to see West Brom win.
No, true.
So Dwayne, before you go, before we finish up in the next 3 or 4 minutes, what is your prediction? Honest prediction. Okay, give me an honest prediction. Stephen Norman texted me. He says 2-2. Dwayne, Deco goes further. Deco gives us a prediction of we go 1-0 down to win 3-1. I think we're going to win 3-0. Ian, Dwayne, Connor, Jamie, anybody watching live, throw your predictions in the chat now, and we can have a brief discussion for the last 2 to 3 minutes of this before the game starts.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be good to see some scores from people who think, like, who are not United followers. Like, there's obviously still 2-2, it's just a bit of a...
Dwayne just got to be like 4-0 to West Brom. He's just got to name West Brom players. Deco, who's going to score?
Ooh, who's going to score?
Give me a first goal scorer bet. Give me a first goal scorer bet.
Rashford
first.
If we don't go 1-0 down, Rashford scores. Before us, Rashford scores first. West Brom, I don't know who's.
No, forget West Brom. You think first goal scorer Rashford? OG.
No, who's from West Brom?
I don't know. Ian Cray says 2-0 United, I reckon. Thanks, Ian. I hope so. I really do. Dwayne Morgan goes on to say, depends on what West Brom show up. 1-1. Dwayne, I don't disagree, but it also depends on what United show up. Is it the United that battered Newcastle, beat Everton, smashed PSG, smashed RB Leipzig? Or is it the United that got trounced by Arsenal, were poor against Chelsea, were shit in Istanbul, got battered by Spurs, or we're very poor against Crystal Palace. I'd even go as far as to say we're also really poor against Brighton, even though we won. It really depends on which United show up as well. Ian Cray, West Brom whipping boys at the moment. They've not won a single game this season, Ian. They're sitting 16th, and I think there's nearly more points between 16th and 14th as there is between 14th and 4th. West Brom have not been good. If we don't win today, it could be absolutely devastating for United's season. Dwayne Morgan, Everton, Newcastle are muck. Well, when we beat Everton, Everton had gotten a draw with Liverpool, so that was a good result. And they were top of the league, or close to top of the league at the time. But yes, they're not teams you would expect to win the league. But Aston Villa are also muck. Just lost to Brighton today, and they beat Arsenal. And they were also unbeaten for quite some time. At the moment, any team within the top 10 can beat any team within the top 10 or 15. So whilst Newcastle and Everton aren't great, they're still good teams. I mean, a win against them is still, not so much Newcastle, but especially Everton. A win against them is still, okay, great, we got to win. PSG didn't play well. No, PSG didn't play well, but United played great. They were aggressive, they tackled well, they won the ball back quickly, they pressed well, and they attacked well. United could have a lot more goals in that 2-1 win than they actually got. RB Leipzig are poor in a poor league. RB Leipzig were undefeated and at the top of a poor league when we beat them 5-0. I think they've since gone on to lose a couple of games, but they're still a good side. They were semi-finalists in the Champions League last year, so they're not a bad side. They're still a good team. They're not going to win the league. They're not Bayern Munich. They may not even finish runners-up, but they're still a good team. And beating anybody who finishes second in the Champions League, not second, but who finishes in the semi-finals in the Champions League, and who was undefeated in their own league and top of their table, beating any team 5-0 like that is a decent result, and I think you have to agree with that. I don't think RB Leipzig are going to win the German league. I don't think if RB Leipzig were in the English league, they'd be anywhere near the top 4. But beating any team 5-0 is a good result.
Lucky John, I just had a look for the lineup for United tonight. I think it's going to be Telles, Maguire, Lindelof, and Wan-Bissaka, and then midfield is going to be Fred, Matic, Mata, and Fernandez, with Rashford and Martial up front.
Okay, that's a very strange lineup. Deco, I'm just going to bring up my lineup again before I go back to the comments. Okay, we're saying that we've got a lineup of McTominay is out, right? So we've got Fred in the midfield with Matic, right? Which means Fred will actually be pushed a little bit forward, okay? Alongside Matic. You've got Bruno Fernandes and Mata.
Yeah.
Okay, Mata is going to be out. Mata is going to be out right, okay? And Rashford is going to be out left. And Martial is going to be up front, right?
Yeah.
So it's still going to be basically it's going to be a 3 midfield and a 3 top front. If that's the personnel, then I imagine that's the formation. And if that's the formation, it's exactly what I wanted, with the exception of maybe Mata for Pogba or Fred for Van der Beek. But it's a good formation. It's an attacking formation. It's an attacking selection. I'm happy with that. It's exactly what I would have looked at, with the exceptions of Mata and Fred for Pogba and Van der Beek. So I have no problems with that. Good man. Now the match is starting, so we're going to finish it up. I'm going to just mention the last few chat comments that came in from Dwayne and Ian. Ian says, who has Ole put out? Okay, well, great, Ian. We just discussed that there. We've got De Gea, Tunzabi. No, sorry. It's De Gea, Lindelof, Maguire with Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Telles, did you say?
Yeah.
Great to see Telles in there. With a defensive midfield, Matic with Bruno and Fred in front. Rashford on the left, Mata on the right, and Martial up front. Dwayne then says, Deco, you look great. John, you look round. Sort it out.
Oh, thanks, Dwayne. I appreciate that.
Okay, well, look, on that note, Dwayne, I appreciate your talk. Listen, Dwayne, come and join us. here on the post-match discussion we're going to have at 10 past 10. If we win, we can discuss it. If we lose, you can rip the piss. Join us in our post-match discussion, which is at 10 past 10 tonight. It'll be live, and we look forward to it. Deco, thanks very much for joining me. Really appreciate it. As always, everybody, have a great day, and let's go watch football.